We're going to dive in today and go through all this great information. This is the Maximizing Your WBE certification. Kathy Lindeman is our esteemed presenter this morning. I'm going to toss it to her in just a second. My name is Courtney Martin. I am the Director of Marketing Communications and Engagement for WBEC ORV, covering Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. But certainly this presentation is open to everyone. So Judy, again, glad you're with us. It's a national certification, so you'll still get a lot of the good relevant content. If we can go to the next slide, I just want to introduce our team so that you know who all you have to work with on different things here throughout the region. Currently, Chuck Hendricks is our interim president and CEO. Dr. Frederica Singletary is our current Chief Operations Officer, but if you haven't seen the good news, she's actually going to be our incoming president and CEO. So that'll be effective here on November 3rd. So very, very excited about that. After a national search, we get one of our own to lead the charge. And then you can see the rest of the team here. We've got our fractional Chief Financial Officer, Jackie Jordan, our fractional Chief HR Officer, LaCosta Moore, just to introduce myself. And then Dr. Kitiana Lowe goes by Dr. K, our Director of Programs and Events. Colleen Rudisell is our Director of Certification and Outreach. And then Robbie Moore is on her team as a Certification Manager. Devin Davis is one of our newer team members. She's our corporate engagement manager. And then Morgan McDonald is our awesome administrative assistant in running all things behind the scenes for us today. Thank you, Morgan. And then Anita Steele is a contractor who also helps with certification. So lots of team members here within our region who can help you on various things. So with that, I am going to toss it over to our presenter, Kathy Lindeman. Super excited. She's the president of Evolution Creative Solutions. On the board of WBEC ORV, a longtime friend of mine. So we're excited to be tag teaming this today. And I'll let you take it away, Kathy.
Okay, great. So Courtney forgot the most important thing. I was named Volunteer of the Year for WBEC ORV. So here I am giving away another hour of my time. We'll talk, but I also sit on the forum and I am a board of director. So lots of things, but most importantly, I'm one of you. I'm a WBEC member. I own Evolution Creative Solutions, and I also own another company called Kathy Lindeman that does speaking and coaching. So I actually have 2 businesses certified. Next slide. Morgan, I know you can't see it, but now the gray box is all over the edge. So talking about WBEC and what we're going to cover today, we're going to talk about the foundational knowledge. So we're just going to kind of set it up, make sure that you understand the organizational background, what value we offer to you, what supplier diversity advantages there are, and what supplier diversity professionals do inside corporations. And then we want to talk about how you can benefit. So why do you want to be certified? Even though you are, how can you get the most out of it? Incorporate this seal in your branding, which not gonna lie, I'm really bad at. So every time I present this, I'm like, need to do that. How to prospect inside the WBEC community, how to participate in your RPO and other RPOs, which will define RPO, because you would think this was a government, because they have a lot of acronyms, and then how to engage in WBEC National. So Morgan, if you can hear me, if you'll slide. We can't figure out why this gray box is staying there. So first, let's talk about foundational knowledge. Let's scroll it down one, Morgan. Here we go. Okay, so the very first thing is WBEC is a national organization based out of Washington, D.C. It has 14 regional partner organizations. So instead of trying to cover the whole entire United States with one organization, they broke it down into multiple groups. And so those of you that are in Kentucky and Ohio, you fall in the WBEC ORV. It stands for Ohio River Valley, because the Ohio River runs through those states. So it covers Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. And so when we host in-person events, like Catch the Wave, our conference pulls from those. It will pull corporates from those. Not that anybody else in the country cannot join us, but that's just going to be the focus of our marketing. And then Alabama is going to be down in Webeck South. Yay, we got a twerk. Webeck South. And so you're going to be with Tennessee, Louisiana, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, part of Florida, and Tennessee. I know those states because every week I do my jigsaw puzzle with my 5-year-old. He's fascinated with the states, so we put in every single piece along the way. I should probably know it from like 2nd grade, but I can't remember it. So that RPO is going to offer programs, in-person events as well. And so you can attend those, but every single event is open to anyone that is inside WeBank. So you do not have to stay with inside your regional RPO. You can go and do anything you want. WeBank was started as a certification. So its number one reason to exist is to prove that you are a woman-owned business. So it has 20,000 of them certified. In the Ohio River Valley RPO, we are 1,100 strong. And we have 550 corporate members nationally. So they are always attempting to raise women-owned businesses across the country. They have a strong agenda in making sure that they have a pulse on what's going on with women-owned businesses. Next slide. So a little bit about us. As I said, we're the regional organization. And so Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky, we were established in 2009. We were part of the Urban League, but we have dropped out of the Urban League and become our own standing organization. It allows us to have a better and stronger reach across all 3 states. And so anything that you need, even if you want a corporation that's inside that footprint, ORV can help. Just like you can reach out to Texas, and Texas, our RPO will be able to help you with those corporates. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. All righty. What do you got? Next slide. So the core platform, they have certification, which we've talked about, lots and lots of opportunities. So they have opportunities for networking. And then they have lots of programming where you can learn. And then they have lots of business development. So if you're getting the emails, you would see like Target is running a retail class. Marathon will be running a class on business development. So you can get in and learn how to do work with various companies. So if you watch your email, they offer a lot of business development classes as well as networking classes and things that will put you in front of supplier diversity. And then they also have resources that will help you to be educated. They will support, and you will also see that they ask you to create I'm going to have Courtney come on and answer it. They ask you to create there's a flyer that they want us to, our economic empowerment flyer, where you go in and you put in how much how much revenue do you have, how many people do you staff. It asks various questions about your business because they want to show people how much impact women have. And the only way they can know how much impact we're having is for us to give them the data. And then they generate a great flyer that you can put out and market yourself with. And then they also have engagement where they will set up common goals with other affiliates. So you will hear people talk about MSDC. So that's the minority supplier diversity. So lots of times they will engage with other groups that have the same program so that we can have a bigger impact. And they have all kinds of recognitions and awards. Like I said, I was volunteering here, so they named that. Next slide. Next slide, Courtney or Morgan. There we go. So the federal mandate does still exist, even though we are in this political climate, for companies doing business with the federal government. They still procure 5% of goods and services from women and minorities. That has not changed as of today. Corporations set up supplier diversity programs as well. In the current climate, you will find that some corporations have changed what they call it. It still exists. You just have to get a little clever. They might call it the inclusion. Some have changed it to small business programs. And then the business model has evolved as corporations purchase goods and services from women. So we make up 80% of all the spending, and they want to make sure that we are represented. Being from Cincinnati, I know P&G was a big push for this because let's face it, most women buy the Tide, the Dawn, but they weren't buying from women-owned businesses. So they put it in where people buying it were also being supported. And universities and hospitals have established inclusion goals, although I will say that if you're trying to do work with a university right now because they are federally funded, most universities have dropped the program. Next slide. The supplier diversity advantage. So the biggest thing that you have is you have an advocate inside a corporation. And so lots of times the supplier diversity professional, their only job is to get you in touch with the buyer that's going to buy something. So they don't generally buy anything. Their job is for when you are not in the room, their job is to be in the room for you. So you want to know the supplier diversity professional, because then when they're in a room and the purchasing person is like, hey, I need plastic labels, they can be like, oh, great. I know Tracy produces those. And so you want to make sure that you're top of mind with the supplier diversity professionals so that they know to bring up your name. Corporations can make exceptions for certified WBEs. They create a lot of vendor opportunities that are in closed community categories. And so just things that you may not even know exist, they can help you get those. They offer mentor and protege programs, so lots of them will help you along the way. And as I said, if you watch your emails from National, lots of times they will say it's Target or it's Macy's or it's Humana is offering a program that really their whole entire goal is to train you so that you can become a vendor. And then they also will establish vendor financing mechanisms. So when we were at National, P&G announced that they now have changed their vendor payment to 6 months. Used to be 3 months, they've changed it to 6 months, but they have a program in where women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses can actually get paid in 30 days. So WBE has supported that. And so the programs are continually expanding, as well as the corporations and the other WBEs that are available. Next slide. And so, as I said, the supplier diversity role, so they are definitely an advocate. The best description I ever heard is that they are the salmon swimming upstream for you. So they are constantly in a fight to try to make sure that all the WBEs that they know are being taken care of, so they can help you through the vendor registration process. Almost every corporation has you fill out the vendor registration process. It's not really going to get you any work. Really what it does is it gets you the contact inside so the supplier diversity professional knows who you are. So they just have to have that information so that when they're fighting for you, they know they have all the correct information. They will have all the buyer contacts, and they will be able to tell you when contracts are running out. And so if you're on like lots of times as a print vendor, the contracts are 3 years or 5 years long. So I can reach out to the supplier diversity professional and say, hey, when is your print contract going to come up? Because then I know when I need to start asking, like, when is it going to be released? Okay, it expires in 2027. Like, are you going to release it in 2026? Like, what do I have to do to know when it's going to be released so I don't miss my opportunity? And then they also will do private events where you can meet the buyers that you want to. And the one thing that I know is that if you do a good job for one company, all the supplier diversity professionals talk to each other. And so if you do well for one, you will also get good word referenced over to another company. Things to know. This is, I hear it all the time. They do not make sourcing decisions. They buy almost nothing. But you need to know their business and their market prior to reaching out. So you don't want to reach out to Kroger and ask them if they need you to produce cereal because they already produce cereal themselves. You can register as a vendor. So you make one that we talked about that. Then you want to make sure you establish a relationship. The best advice I ever heard was from Andy Butler at P&G. He said, don't send me an email that says, hey, will you buy this? He said, send me an email that tells me what the latest thing is in that market. Educate him. Constantly send educational information because then they know you're staying on top of the trend and it is information that they need. So they know who you are, they know you're on top of the trends, and they're gaining knowledge instead of just getting an email and saying, hey, Andy, is there an opportunity yet for you to buy my business, for you to buy what I'm offering? So you do have to be pleasantly persistent because, of course, they will forget your name. They're talking to thousands of people. So you have to follow up. The second best advice is to ask where to follow up, either email or LinkedIn. Some prefer that you follow up with them on LinkedIn and some prefer email. So asking them the best way to follow up is always critical. And then stay away from the what's in it for me mentality. Definitely focus on their needs. Find out what they need. It's one of the best things that the supplier diversity professional can give you. What are we struggling with? What are you struggling with that we can help you so that you can help meet their needs or solve a problem? Next slide. So here we go, part 2. Whew. Lots of pretty colors and lots of things. So access to supplier diversity and procurement executives, corporations, governments, local governments, as well as other WBEs. So generally I'm too small to source to great big huge corporations. So I find that I do more work with other women-owned businesses, and I do work for smaller corporations. Did a lot of networking with Macy's, and Macy's was very generous and included me in their business card program. If I printed 24/7, 7 days a week, I never could have printed all their business cards. It was just an opportunity that was too large for me, but I was honored that they asked me. You do have formal and informal opportunities. So you always want to be on the lookout for where are the people that you want to do business. That's how come we talk about you can do work in Alabama, you can do work in California. You want to be involved in the events in those RPOs. Notice what RPO the corporates that you want to do business with are in. Because if you want to do work with a business that's in Nebraska, you want to watch and see when that business is involved in events in Nebraska. You have access to networking events, programs, procurements, mentoring, always ways to grow your business and to network. And notice Courtney's chat. And then you have eligibility for regional and national awards and recognition. They have lots of different ones that show how you're growing and how successful you've been. And then one of the funnest things is you get to use the women-owned logo on your various marketing materials. And if you are someone that produces a product that sits on a shelf, you can use the woman-owned logo on your label on the shelf so that when people are coming in, when they're being intentional about supporting women-owned businesses, they know right then and there that your cookies, because I buy Sweet Lorraine cookies, there you go. There you go, including logo pops. That's perfect. And that cake pops. If you sell those in a store, you can put your logo on the packaging. And then when people go into the store, they know it's a women-owned business. I very intentionally buy Sweet Lorraine cookies because they are women-owned. And then you also have a community of support. So for me, I was a high school chemistry teacher, came to work at Evolution, made the crazy choice to buy Evolution, didn't know anything about running a business, and it gave me a great support system. I ran into other businesses, other women-owned businesses that knew more about the business and just took me under their wings. Now I find that I have bigger businesses that take me under their wing, and I have smaller businesses that I take under my wing. So it becomes a great, hey, Amy, a high school teacher. Now you have to tell me in the chat, what did you teach? Because I was a chemistry nerd. Um, Math, baby. Oh, we can talk. We'll have to talk offline. That's why I did chemistry. It was math with a purpose. So you have community support from other female businesses. So smaller businesses take in bigger businesses will help. And then the best thing of all is that if you want to meet the supplier diversity person from Kroger, because you do cake pops, if you go to a in-person event and you're like, hey, do you know the supplier diversity person from Kroger? I guarantee you 2 or 3 people will be like, yes, it's Stephanie. Can I introduce you to her? And they will make sure that you don't have a cold call on Stephanie. You will have a warm call on Stephanie. They will do the introduction for you. Next slide. And then as I talked, you get the WBE seal. So you can use this on your business cards, your website, your marketing material. Lots of people use it on proposals so that when they're turning it in, the person knows. So if you work in the construction field, that's definitely very valuable in terms of the proposals. And also if you're doing it with a corporate that acknowledges the certification, you want to make sure that it's on your proposals. Make sure that it's on all your social media channels so that people that are looking and being intentional know that it's there. And as Courtney said, it is available on WeBank Link 2.0, which I think we'll get to in a little bit. And then the women-owned logo, which is a little bit prettier in my opinion, can be used on consumer-facing materials. So things that you're going to sell on a shelf. And if you like it better, you can use it on your marketing collateral and websites and other digital marketing. So it's supposed to be easily recognizable for consumers. So they tried to make it where it stood out and was prominent on your packaging. Next slide. And here we go. See, I told you we were coming to WeBank Link 2.0. So WeBank Link 2.0, it is where all things happen. You definitely have a username and password because it is where you filled out your certification. Important things to know about WeBank Link 2.0. First off, it needs to be updated with the best information that you have about your company and your correct NAICS codes, because corporates will go in and they will be looking for a supplier of cake pops. And they'll look up the NAICS code for cake pops, or they'll type in a keyword. And so you'll want to make sure that as many keywords and NAICS codes you have, you want to make sure they're all available, because the corporations can use that to find you. On the flip side, you can also find women-owned businesses that you need to partner with or sell to. So I have gone in before and pulled all the list of companies with a certain annual revenue and a certain number of employees, excuse me, and pulled all of the businesses that are in the Cincinnati area. And it's allowed me to go out and market and say, hey, you're a woman-owned business. You have to need some marketing materials. I supply print, apparel, and promotional products. How about you be intentional and use a woman-owned business, and that woman-owned business should be me. So not only can you pull corporates and know who the supplier diversity is, you can also pull Weebies. So as I said, make sure that you update it. And when you go through each year and you update, don't just be like, accept, and say everything is the same as last year. Be intentional that your keywords are correct. And if you're not seeing much movement, I would suggest that you update your keywords each year so that as the corporates are looking, they have new keywords to search. Next slide. And then here we go with prospecting in WeBank Link 2.0. I think I already said all this. You can download the WeBank Link 2.0. You definitely can check the RPO websites for regional corporate members. So again, know who is on your target list, find out which regional partner organization they're a member of, and then watch for events in that regional partner organization to attend. So if you want to do work with a company in Nebraska, watch and see when that will be there. And then you want to complete the targeted company's vendor supplier profile for the third time. You have to make sure you're in that list. And then the big thing for us, as I said, Macy's is too big for me. So what Macy's did was they worked with their tier 1 providers. So the people that supply directly to Macy's, they went to them and said, hey, how about you use Evolution for the things that they can do? And so I became a tier 2 supplier. I supply the suppliers of the corporate. And so you want to make sure that you don't just stay so focused on the big companies that you miss all of their suppliers. They have very regimented tracking for their suppliers. And so they will have their suppliers turn in reports. So their suppliers are always looking for women-owned businesses. So don't just think it has to be the corporates. Think of who all the corporates have suppliers. And then don't forget me. You can always do business with me. So you want to be involved locally, regionally, and nationally. Next slide. Do your homework. So you want to know how committed is the company to supplier diversity and inclusion. So you can look up their supplier diversity staff in WeBank Link 2.0. Go out, check them out on LinkedIn, find out what you learned from there. Is there a process for registration? If so, make sure you do it. Probably 90% of them have it. Do they have a diversity statement and goals on their website? So do as much as you can. Do they hold supplier diversity events? Once you know all that information, then reach out and find out how you can become involved, and they know that you know your stuff about supplier diversity. And you can find out some more about their culture and their values. Next slide. And then you start asking questions. So you've done your homework, you know what they offer, you know what their contracting is, you've filled out their stuff. Make sure then that you start asking what the procurement process is. This is where the supplier diversity professional can help you. They will walk you through the process. Is it centralized, so they have a purchasing department, or is it decentralized where everyone can buy? So for me, I'll give you an example. Messer Construction, it's decentralized. Anybody inside Messer Construction can buy print from me. Turner Construction is centralized, and so it all goes through their corporate and then it comes to me. So you want to make sure that you know the procurement process, and the supplier diversity can help you. The decision on your product or services, what's the biggest reason? Are they going to base it on cost? Or are they going to base it on turn time? Or are they going to base it on a different value? So you want to make sure if you need to be the lowest cost, or you need to add in all your added value that you offer. Ask for the name and contact info on the buyers. Like I said, supplier diversity professionals buy nothing. They pretty much buy zero. They will just be able to help you connect with the buyer. And then you want to find out about upcoming bids, and then ask if there are any tier 2 opportunities. Next slide. And then as you get certified as a WeBank, you can also get certified as an SBA WOSB, lots of acronyms. So it's the Small Business Administration Women-Owned Small Business Program. That's for federal contracting program. So you can do it as you get certified through WeBank. You can do that, or you can apply through the SBA. You do have to have a SAMS number regardless. but you can get the certification for free as you go through the women-owned small business. In case any of you were WBE certified, you would just got a notice that that was dropped, but the women-owned small business program was not dropped. Next slide. And then they have to know who you are. So you have to participate, getting your certification and then being like, okay, great, I got it. Putting it on your marketing material, fantastic. Still probably not going to get much traction. They have to know your name. Then you have to be top of mind. So you want to attend the annual events that they have. Ours is the Catch the Wave Regional Conference. It's hosted by our RPO, WBEC ORV. We have 500 attendees. This next year it is in Louisville, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely in Louisville. And they have lots of corporates that attend, and they have workshops where you can learn. They do have a meet the buyer opportunity where you get to talk with the corporations, so you're not just going to the conference and not getting connections. They have a business pitch breakfast, which allows you to give your pitch in front of everybody at the conference. And then they have awards and recognition. So look forward to that next August. We just had it in Cleveland this year. Next slide. And then other ways to participate. Oh, and Judy in Alabama, they'll have a conference. I just don't have that information, but I think Courtney was going to drop into the chat the RPO website for Alabama, WBEC South, and you'll be able to see all of their conferences as well. And then they have, so we have signature events. We have WBE Connects. We have WBE Connects, and so those are hosted by a women-owned business. And then we all get together. So I was just in one in Cincinnati last week, and we had about 40 businesses all together. The sole reason of the event is to get to know each other, help each other, network so that we can succeed together. They have one in Columbus the week before that. Catch the Wave is our big conference of the year, and then Bold and Brilliant is our other signature event where it is hosted by women of color, although all people are invited, but they came up with the brilliant idea, and it was bold and brilliant, and it has been amazing. So you can attend signature events. We also have other regional events, so doing business with corporates. That is a great one to watch, because if you want to do business with a certain corporate, they will put on a half an hour to an hour presentation of what kind of contracts they're looking for, how to get in to do business with them. They do industry specific events. So if you're in the energy sector, they will have events where you can learn how to do industry specific work, partner with other people in that field so that you can be a big enough supplier for the corporates. They have corporate member supplier diversity events and professional and business development. Like I said, that was the first thing that I needed. I was drowning and I needed professional and business development because I needed to know how to run my business better. And then they do have webinars. So they have monthly onboarding webinars. They have this maximizing your certification webinar. Next quarter, it will not be me. So you would get someone else's take on it. The annual Catch the Wave conference prep webinar. So they will walk you through how to be prepared. And then monthly WBEC Link 2.0 webinars. If you've not been in WBEC Link 2.0, I would suggest taking that one because it really is the wealth of knowledge that exists across the country. And if you don't use it often, it can be a little clunky. So you can go in and learn how to use it, and then it becomes pretty smooth. And then there also is professional and business developments coming as well. And look at this, sponsorship available for all the signature events. So you can always contact Robbie at Robbie1 at WBEC ORV. Oh, sorry, WBEC ORV.org. Whatever. Y'all can read, not me. And then you can also support the national engagement. So they have their annual event next year. It is in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. Super excited to go out west. It will have a place where you can exhibit your opportunities. There were over 350 this year. And they have 4,500 women-owned enterprises, corporate and governments that attend national networking, and it occurs in June each year. And like I said, it's in Utah next year in June. Super excited. And then WeBank Forum, as I said, I'm a member of that. With the forum, it is open to all women-owned businesses. And it is the leadership opportunities and appointments. So I got to back up. Actually, all of us are part of the forum, but you can be assigned to be in the leadership opportunities of the forum. And so then it gives you access to greater connections within other women businesses, and it gives you learning opportunities. So there is a group that does government, a group that does domestic, a group that does marketing. So there's multiple groups, and each one of them offers learning opportunities. And then there's a lot of collaboration and partnering that occur inside the forum. Next slide. Look at this. It's time for a survey. I didn't even know I was to the end, Courtney, and look at me. You're on mute. No one can hear you.
I was saying nice things about you. I said you're just a wealth of knowledge and speed through it because you know what you're talking about. So yeah, this is the survey for this webinar. We always want to know, what you got out of it, what we could think about including next time. So while you're scanning and taking this, also want to open the floor for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. We've also got a small crew here, so I can take people off mute if you want to raise your hand. But is there anything else that you want to pick Kathy's brain on while she's got you? Survey link in the chat. Morgan, if you can throw that in there, that would be really helpful. Thank you. Amy's on her phone. And then, so Morgan will put that in the chat. If you have other questions, keep them coming. I am going to flip here to the next slide and kind of share some of our upcoming events. So like Kathy said, the one way to get, really engaged is to attend events, whether they're virtual or in person. So we've got quite a bit coming up still in November. November 4th is our government ready women owned one. So we've got a full panel. I think we've got 4 or 5 women that are going to be talking about how to win government contracts, where to find them, how to best tee yourself up for them, how to complete those RFPs. So really good information there. November 6th is about becoming certified. So if you know someone who's thinking about getting certified who hasn't taken that step yet, we encourage you to invite them to that. Also on November 6th, we have a virtual info session for our Ohio River Valley Business Development Program. This is a 7-month cohort, really intense programming, one-on-one coaching and mentorship with about, up to 9 other women who are in the similar boat as you are if you're ready to kind of grow and scale your business. So if you're interested in learning more about that application process or what all that entails, we'll have an info session for that. And then November 12th, we're going to have our next WBE Connect. Those are for our West Virginia friends. So that will be virtual, so we can invite everyone in the state for that. November 19th, we have another Why Should I Get Certified webinar that's going to be in the evening, and that one is run by our Women of Color committee. So again, anybody's welcome to join that, but they specifically talk about, why as a woman of color it's important for them to get certified and get recertified every year. And then again, November 20th, we'll have our newly certified onboarding again. So if you, again, know somebody that's a recent person or who has gotten their certification but maybe hasn't done anything with it for a while, that's a good refresher course as well. And then Judy had a question. It says, if I do not actually produce anything, is it still beneficial to be WeBank certified? Kathy, you want to take that? Oh, you might be frozen. So short answer, yes. It looks like Kathy's frozen. We'll see if she comes back on here for a minute. But absolutely, a lot of people that aren't in that, retail or product area, that are more in the service area, a lot of people still find value in that certification because, again, as these large corporations are going through and figuring out who they want their services from, a lot of them are looking for people that fit into one of these categories. So absolutely still a value. I work with a lot of our corporate partners. We have about 70 in our region, and they're all absolutely still looking for people that are maintaining their certification. All right, looks like we've got the calendar link in the chat, the survey link in the chat. Oh, calendar link's not working. All right, we'll pop that back in there. Okay, good. And I love the thumbs up, thumbs down. And then Amy says, off the top of your heads, are there any events coming up near Cleveland? Oh, she got her certification a day before conference last year. So we actually will be putting out our 2026 calendar as a whole. So we're working on solidifying events right now. So nothing there the end of this year in person that I'm aware of, but there definitely will be events coming up in 2026. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll be trying to put out all the dates so you can kind of plan your lives around what we have available as you can. I'm going to pop over to our last slide here. It's just contact information. So if you do have other questions, you can email us, you can call us. You've got our website there. So lots of ways to get in touch. Looks like Kathy's rejoined. She's got her connectivity back. You want to come? You're on mute.
I got kicked off. Maybe you were frozen because of me and not frozen because of you.
Who knows? Who knows?
But hopefully Judy got her answer that yes, it's valuable for her to be certified.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. I tried to cover for you and be the voice of Kathy.
And I was trying to cover for you being the voice of Courtney.
All right. Any other questions from this group?
I just wanted to add that I did go and attend the seminar, or what was it, the nationals down in New Orleans this past year. And what a wonderful group of women. You meet and connect, and it was wonderful. I mean, I loved it. I had to cut it short because I got hurt down there. But anyways, I absolutely loved it. So I'm looking forward to maybe next year.
Awesome. It was my first national conference this year too, so looking forward to it as well. Any other pearls of wisdom, Kathy?
No, I just love it that I think Tracy has a jigsaw puzzle going in the background.
Oops.
Oh, you're on mute.
I just tried to unmute her. I think we did it at the same time.
Yeah, you're right about the puzzle. It's funny because people come back here to take a break and then they end up talking to me while they're puzzling, and I'm like, well, I wasn't trying to take a break, but it's okay. It's a very quiet office. I think we're doing Star Wars this week, but it's normally things related to site development and landscapes and outdoorsy stuff.
That's awesome. Well, ladies, if you need anything, I am only one email away.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We will send out the recording. We'll send out the links and the calendar as well. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you all.